are in Vancouver, Washington. This is where United Grain's Vancouver export terminal is. We're gonna get to go tour it. We're gonna learn about what happens to wheat after it leaves the local grain elevator. Might be a lot of voiceover. Don't know how much time I'm gonna have to actually vlog on site. There's a lot going on. We're also doing some, commercial work for United Grain as well. That's the other reason why I'm out here. But definitely looking forward to the YouTube video. This is gonna be a good one, guys. All right, guys, so I am here with the CEO of United Grain Corporation. This is the one and only Augusto Bassanini. How's it going today, Augusto?
Very good, and good morning, and thank you for being here today.
Yeah, this has been an excellent trip. This port that we're at here right now, just absolutely fantastic. It's amazing to actually firsthand witness what happens to grain after it leaves the farmer's field and the local elevators out there too. So yeah, just kind of to start off, can you give us kind of a brief overview of where we're at today, what this facility is, and what happens here?
Riley, you're standing at United Grain's Vancouver Export Terminal, the largest export grain terminal on the U.S. West Coast. This really is the confluence of uniting our producer, our supplier, with their products, whether it's from barges or rail, uniting them with our overseas customers, creating that success and be able to feed the world. So first of all, let me give you a brief history of this export terminal. It was originally constructed in 1934, and over the evolution of our company, we took ownership of this terminal in 1969, and through further investments, through the decades of our operations, it is now the largest export terminal on the US West Coast with roughly 8 million bushels worth of storage. And that really equates to, on an annual basis, being able to load roughly 120 ocean-going vessels, 45,000 rail cars, and about 350 barges on an annual basis.
So a lot of grain flows through here. That's a lot.
A lot of grain flows here, and really what it takes is that coordination of the entire supply chain, all of our transportation partners, service providers, to really make sure that we all work in unison to move the products from the farm field to the export gate. It really takes a commitment by all of us in the supply chain to really make it one of the most reliable supply chains really in the world.
All right, so just how much grain flows through the Vancouver export terminal? First off, one vessel holds about 10,000 metric tons per each hold. Multiply that by 5 and you get 50,000 metric tons of grain. If, say, this is all wheat that's being loaded, that equates to about 1.8 million bushels of wheat. That's about 2,000 semi-loads of grain, or about 495 rail cars. Now, let's multiply this by 120 ocean-going vessels that are loaded per year at United Grain's facility. That's 6 million metric tons of grain per year, or about the equivalent of 230,000 semi-loads from the farm. So, yeah, a lot of grain. So what exactly happens once grain arrives here at the Vancouver export terminal? I won't be able to cover every detail, but we can start with the arrival of a 110-car shuttle train, similar to that one that we featured in last year's United Grain Moccasin shuttle loading video, link in the video description. Upon arriving on site, train cars enter the rail unload facility here, where operators on moving platforms are able to quickly open and close the bottom traps of the train cars and unload 2 cars at once. Today's inbound train is unloading corn from the Midwest. This grain will be elevated and transported to one of the 290 on-site bins that make up part of that 8 million bushel on-site storage. Grain can be transferred to and from just about any point here at the facility using a series of overhead grain conveyors, all of which are controlled from one central point at the facility, the control room. Inside the export terminal office, this control room is staffed 24/7 and consists of 4 workstations, each one controlling several operations at the facility, from unload to transfer and storage, and to vessel loading. It's basically like air traffic control for grain logistics. It's pretty awesome. Grain has a couple more steps to go through here at the facility before being loaded onto one of these massive vessels for export out of the United States. First off is grain cleaning, which can clean wheat all the way down to 0.2% dockage. And then another step is the Federal Grain Inspection Service Lab, which is also on site here at the port. Now, we weren't able to tour this lab during my visit, but the process here is very similar to what happens at our state grain labs in Montana and in other states. Basically, the grain is tested to ensure that it meets the quality and consistency that buyers are demanding. Finally, it's time to load the vessel. Grain is transferred to a moving spout, otherwise known as a pico, which is able to precisely load each hold on the vessel.
We're standing at the pier of the UGC's export grain terminal. It's really one of those critical steps in our ability to unite our producers, our suppliers with our customers is when the grain actually hits the ocean-going vessel. This particular vessel that we're loading is destined to Japan, one of the key partners and countries of destination for U.S. products. From here on out, the journey over to Japan is roughly 20 to 25 days. Our export terminal is located 95 miles from the mouth of the Columbia River, and then it will go on to our destination country. Quality and consistency is really one of the key attributes in our organization. Without quality, we're not able to meet some of those customer demands. The markets that we sell to, primarily Far East Asia, Southeast Asia, really is about delivering quality, but delivering consistently and reliably. Through our efforts, through the investments that we've made over the years, we've been able to really stand behind those commitments to our customer and to our suppliers as well, to make sure that we create that holistic value throughout our supply chain.
All right, so no trip to the Portland, Vancouver area would be complete without a quick stop by the Wheat Marketing Center. Now, what is the Wheat Marketing Center? I'm going to let them explain, but it's pretty awesome.
My name is Brent Haugen. I'm the office administrator here at the Wheat Marketing Center. We're located here in the Elbers Mill building along the Willamette River. We're an educational and technical training center and also a research center as well. So a big part of what we do is we do the analysis of different wheat and flour. So the wheat that's actually being exported to different countries, there's certain testing that needs to be accomplished before that wheat can actually leave the United States. And so we're a big key and a big part of the exporting of that commodity. For wheat producers, a lot of times we're actually doing testing of moisture and protein and falling number. And so we work with a number of different producers from around the United States that will send samples to us to understand the different characteristics and classifications of wheat and flour. So right now we're currently in the Innovation Lab. One of the great aspects here of the Wheat Marketing Center is we have 3 different pilot lines. We have the cracker line that's actually right over here, and then to my left is the Asian noodle line, and then we also have a tortilla line. So as we're actually going out of the COVID era, one of the things that the Wheat Marketing Center is most excited about is to actually have groups and teams to be able to come back here in person, because truly one of the best experiences are an in-person experience here at Wheat Marketing Center. A lot of activity happens here on a global standpoint, not just on a domestic standpoint.
All right, guys, this has been one heck of an adventure. Learned a lot, just an absolute ton about, well, where grain goes after the elevator, the export process. Got to see a vessel leave after it was loaded up, and yeah, this was awesome, guys. So thanks for watching, and can't wait till we get to do something like this again.